All right, we are live. What's up, everybody? Welcome back inside the war room. UFC 328 is in the books, and oh my God, what a card, Chris! We have to talk about all of it, from the first fight on the prelims all the way up to one of the biggest upsets we have seen in middleweight championship history. Sean Strickland did it again. We'll use this as a chance to plug our Sean Strickland is a UFC legend video. Go check that out. Very, very recently, we put that out on the channel. We were talking about the consequences if Sean Strickland did win this fight. We didn't really think he was going to do it, but shit, here we are. So he did it. The man is just built different. We'll get there. Co-main event was an absolute war. Joshua Van gets the round 5 KO over Tatsuro Taira in what I genuinely think is going to be remembered as one of the best fights of the year. Chris, what'd you think of the card overall?
Dude, he's so good. And I guess I could say that to both Sean Strickland and Josh Van. On the Strickland side, I mean, how does he do it? How does he do it? He has two of the biggest wins, I think, in MMA history. Josh Van, obviously, we've been on him since day one. We've been telling you guys, if you're not seeing what we're seeing, then you might need to get a new pair of glasses or something. You might need to get your eyes checked, because this guy is legit. Sean Strickland, and I want to mention this, and we'll get into it a little more in the back half of this video when we talk about the fight itself. MMA math is the funniest thing in the sport, because you look at what Khamzat Chimaev did to Dricus du Plessis. You have Sean Strickland beat Khamzat Chimaev, and then you realize Sean Strickland lost to Dricus du Plessis twice. The first one was close, albeit. The second one was utter domination by Dricus du Plessis. So we are going to get that trilogy at some point. But it is just hilarious to look back and say, how? Like, that's my one question. How? It makes absolutely zero sense. But yeah, absolutely amazing card. I don't think there was a single fight that was utterly terrible.
Pat Sabatini.
Yeah, I wasn't really watching that.
That was the only boring fight on this card, though.
Yeah, I guess every time I checked in on that fight, Pat Sabatini was climbing all over William Gomis. But yeah, I mean, all right, 12 out of 13. I think that's a pretty good night.
Good hit rate.
Good night.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah, MMA math did help me when I picked flip to Volkov, which we'll also get to in a little bit. But let's not waste any more time. Let's run it from the top. Clayton Carpenter versus Jose Ochoa, first fight of the night. And look, I'll keep it simple. Ochoa is a prospect to watch. The guy is nasty. Carpenter is tough as hell. I'll give him that. He was getting picked apart on the feet the whole night, nose leaking, getting outworked, but he did not quit. The problem is, toughness only gets you so far when you're getting outgunned that badly. Ochoa's body work was surgical. He had Carpenter bleeding. And even on the ground, where you'd think Carpenter might have something to offer as a former IBJJF brown belt champion, Ochoa held his own. Carpenter got to his back in round 1 and got shucked off almost immediately. That tells you something. Here's the thing about Ochoa. He's 2-2 in the UFC. He's taken losses, but the style is marketable, and at 125, I think he's a legit blue chip prospect. Eventually, this guy is going to crack the top 15. Matchmaking him is the tricky part. I'd love to see him and Tagir Ulanbekov.
Ooh, I was just going to say that.
Or maybe Alessandro Costa, who just beat Stuart Nickel. I think Costa versus Ochoa would be a banger. Both guys have traded wins and losses in the UFC. Both are skilled, but I would take Ochoa. I think Ochoa has the higher ceiling and the age advantage too. So I think those would be interesting matchups for him, but I am very high on Jose Ochoa. This guy is going to be great. Hey, John, what's up, man? Hope you enjoyed the card. How did I go for betting with you, man? Because I don't know. I got a little rinsed, but Joshua Van made me my money back, so we good. But how's your night going, man?
Yeah, no, definitely. And thank you for tuning in so late. Not sure what time zone you're in, but yeah, it is definitely a late stream for the War Room. But yeah, what a fight. I mean, this was a dog fight through and through. I did say on the prediction video, I think that Clayton Carpenter's durability would hold up, leading to a Jose Ochoa decision. It did. And he really went out on his shield. Obviously, Ochoa, you mentioned the body work, super nasty. I mean, he was able to slow down Carpenter so much in this fight. The combos and just the crisp, sharp punches coming from Ochoa. Yeah, he is definitely someone to watch. And you look at his losses, like he has 2 amazing losses. John said I was getting most of my picks wrong, and I put the rest of my money on Strickland.
Yeah.
Wow.
We love a good comeback story, huh?
Yeah, you're a dog. That's awesome. Glad to hear it. But yeah, you look at started at $9, fell to $6, and ended the night at 28. We love that. That's a 3x night.
Profit is profit.
3x night.
Let's go. That's a free lunch right there.
Exactly.
Go enjoy some lunch.
Yeah, but you look at Ochoa's losses. I mean, Lonnie Kavanaugh and Asu Almabayev. I mean, those are 2 of the better losses that you could have in this flyweight division, especially with Lonnie Kavanaugh beating Moreno. We've seen what Asu Almabayev has been doing recently, bouncing back from his loss against Manel Kape. But yeah, I would love to see Ochoa versus Tagir Ulanbekov. I think that's a perfect fight to make happen, especially after Kyoji kind of dismantled Ulanbekov. So his stock has gone down a little bit, but he's still, I think he's still one of the premier fighters in flyweight. Especially he'll bring the grappling edge as well. Better grappler than Clayton Carpenter, just in terms of the wrestling. But yeah, Jose Ochoa really made a statement last night, and I think that it's looking up for him. Not that he was ever down and out, but yeah, what a performance from Jose Ochoa.
I'm probably going to lose all the money soon, though, because I'll have one good week and then suck the next. Don't say that, man. Hey,
don't
tell me next week. Tell me next week. Don't tell Chris. Tell me. I'm going to get you your money. For some reason, I do better on these Apex cards than the actual numbered events.
I do, too. I'm so much more profitable on Apex cards than numbered cards. It's kind of stupid, but...
No, I'm playing. Tell me or Chris. We'll get you right, bro. We'll get you right.
Damn, no love for Sam in the war room.
Tail Sam at your own risk. We'll say that. Bison Susurkaev versus DeJordan Santos. Chris, Susurkaev won this fight. Full stop. What'd you think of the performance?
Yeah, another slow start from Susurkaev. That was one of the things that I was really harping on, is that I want to see him come out and kind of just go out there and dominate and kill someone that's in front of him. Jordan Santos is not a can. I want to preface that, I think he actually does have a little bit of upside. Obviously his debut loss to Ozzy Diaz, and we just saw what happened to Ozzy Diaz. So that loss is not aging well, but yeah, Jordan Santos, he looked really good in his last fight against Danny Barlow. The striking is definitely there. And Susurkaev, also a fairly good striker. He mixes it up very well. The power, he targets all parts of the body. So yeah, it's just, he needs to get off to faster starts. I think that's the one knock I'm going to put on him. Obviously he is still won his first 3 UFC fights, which I think is important to note, all by finish as well. But it's just the slow starts that really, I think, weigh him down a little bit. Regardless, he was able to get the finish. The first round was close. I looked on Verdict. It was dead even. I need to go back and check, but I think people were dead split on who they were giving the first round to. Obviously, round 2 was a Susurkaev round, and round 3, he was able to get it done, but it would have been a Susurkaev round as well. But yeah, these slow starts need to be turned into fast, dominating starts, I believe, because I don't think that's going to bode well when he gets into the upper echelon of middleweight.
I wasn't a huge fan of most of the fights, lots of finishes, but most of the fights weren't competitive. I disagree. I think a lot of them, I think the top 3 fights of the night were very, very competitive. Kopylov and Tulio was another one that we'll get to that was super competitive. I don't know. I thought there was really good fights on this card, but again, we're going top to bottom here. I do not want to hear the fraud checking narrative with Susurkaev.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, Santos touched him a few times. I mean, the guy has decent Muay Thai. We went over it. He sits in the pocket. He throws with volume. He's confident. He did make Susurkaev pay in moments, but Biesinger Susurkaev landed the more significant shots throughout the fight. And then late in round 3, he gets it to the ground, takes the back. Santos goes to sleep. First person to ever finish him. That's not nothing, you know?
Yep.
Now, everybody wants to clown on Susurkaev because he's been closely linked with Chimaev, and the undefeated record puts him under a microscope. But the guy is 25 years old. He's 12-0. He's got room to grow. That's the key phrase, room to grow. I'm not telling you he's a top 10 middleweight next year, but 3 to 4 years from now, I think he's going to start putting it together. I guess in terms of the matchmaking, I guess you could look at the winner of Brundage and Petrosky. I think that feels like the right next step for him. It's going to be another Can, guys. He's not going to get stepped up. I've seen some people circulating on Twitter. They want to see Susurkaev and Gautier. That fight does not make sense for either guy at this point. It really doesn't. I don't think that's going to happen. It'll be another Can for Susurkaev. Whoever wins between Brundage and Petrosky, maybe Kelvin Gastelum. He just lost to Vicente Luque. They could do Susurkaev and Gastelum potentially. But the overarching message, take your time with him. This is a guy that does not need to be rushed. He's not going to be the next Sean O'Malley, as we famously say here in the War Room. Shout out to Sam, who's not here. But he famously said Biesinger Susurkaev will be the next Sean O'Malley. It's not going to happen, but I'm still high on him. I still think he has, quite a bit of potential and, again, a lot of room to grow. Yeah, I like Volkov versus Waldo, the co-main and main, but besides those and the Kopylov fight, I don't remember any more competitive fights. What's our next fight here? Oh, well.
Yeah, that didn't bode well for us.
Yeah, it didn't really help our case. Pat Sabatini, William Gomis.
He shot 20 takedowns. Oh, my God.
Yeah, if I had to describe this fight in one sentence, it would be Sabatini embraced the smother like no other.
Ooh, I like that.
That man stayed just glued to Gomis from bell to bell, closed the distance, stayed tight, clinch after clinch, takedown attempt after takedown attempt. 3 for 20 on takedowns is not a great look. But here's the thing. His hands actually look sharp in moments when he created the space. He was landing overhand rights. He was using them to set up the clinch. He had a smart game plan. I'll give that to him. I'm being a little bit generous with Pat Sabatini. Gomis never really got going. He was reactive the whole fight, and Sabatini controlled the pace. Here's the thing, Chris. Based on merit, I actually think Sabatini deserves a top 15 shot.
I do too.
And I'll go as far as saying the loser of Arnold Allen and Chimaev Costa makes sense next. And I will also say, I think either of those guys has a real chance of knocking Sabatini out. I like Sabatini because I'm a BJJ guy myself, but damn. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It was definitely a boring fight. I'm definitely in agreement there, guys. But again, I think he's getting a rank shot. It just depends how much the UFC likes him. If it were me, I'd do it to the chagrin of the UFC fan base, but I think he deserves it by this point.
Yeah, I agree. I was also thinking, to test his grappling in terms of matchmaking. What would you think about him versus Youssef Zalal?
It's possible. Is Zalal still in the top 10?
Okay. Yeah, he probably won't fall that.
Because I think Zalal is still at like 7. So
okay. All right. Yeah. So I like that Melky Allen loser.
Is there any other grappler like in that top 15? Maybe Patricio Pitbull.
Could be Pitbull. Could be Pitbull. But yeah, I think that Sabatini executed his game plan perfectly. He's looked very good in his last few fights in terms of in terms of controlling the fight and making it his type of matchup, and negating what Gomis is solid at, which is striking and just an all-around game. I didn't realize that Gomis is repping Senegal now, rather than France.
Yeah.
Random side note, but yeah, Sabatini, We said it, it's the grappling that was going to get this done for him. It did. Impressive that he only had 3 takedowns out of 20 attempts, but still racked up 11 minutes of control time. He just pinned Gomis against the fence, and he was just glued to him. That was really the best way to describe this fight. He just gave Gomis no room to breathe, no room to work, and at least rack up points. But this definitely was not a great fight to watch. But I think Sabatini definitely deserves it. He's been doing fairly well after getting knocked out by Diego Lopez. At a point, these fighters become undeniable to get into the rankings, or at least have a shot. So I think Pat Sabatini is getting towards that. And it's so funny to look at Tapology and look where they have some of these guys ranked. Like Tapology,
they have Pat at 12.
Yeah, they have Pat Sabatini as the 12th best featherweight in the UFC. And they had Ochoa as the, I think, 10th best flyweight in the UFC. Very interesting to see how they do this. But he definitely deserves a rank shot. Maybe Ortega or Pico over Sabatini. So I think Ortega is moving up.
He's moving up. Yeah,
he's moving up to lightweight.
Pico would be cool, but I think Pico would starch Sabatini.
Yeah, I think Pico would starch him because the grappling would be negated tremendously, and Pico's going to pick him apart on the feet. Also, I think they're going to try and get Pico into the top 10, even maybe top 5.
Yeah, I think he'll fight up.
Yeah, so
I also thought they would announce 329.
I did too. Very interesting that they didn't. I think they're just going to really ride out this White House card to try and get the most promotion for it.
Well, they got to announce that main event soon, because tickets, I don't know if tickets have gone on sale yet, but if they haven't already, they're going to be going on sale very soon. So I would expect that announcement to come in the next couple weeks, maybe next week. They got to announce that soon, though. I think
maybe they'll announce it on this upcoming card.
I don't know if they'll do it in the Apex.
I don't know. I don't know.
That'd be fire if they did, but I don't, because they don't have enough eyes on it. So I think Dana will just go live.
Maybe we'll get a Tuesday live.
Yeah, potentially. But Pat Sabatini gets it done. Roman Kopylov versus Marco Tulio. Chris, what a fight.
Yeah, this was a banger. Tulio looked solid in the first round. Kopylov didn't even look bad in the first round, even though it definitely was scored as a Tulio round. And Roman Kopylov did what he did best. He strikes, he touches you up, and a guy that's really not known for vicious knockdowns and finishing the fight. I mean, he definitely brought it to Marco Tulio. Tulio did not grapple, which I expected him to grapple. We saw Kopylov shoot a takedown, but after the CLD fight for Marco Tulio, I felt like I would expect him to kind of stay out of harm's way and not want to strike with a guy like Roman Kopylov, who is a very good striker. He has a kickboxing background, and he's very technical with it. But Kopylov looked great. He really did. A nice bounce back win from his loss against Gregory Rodriguez. And he just didn't look phased by Tulio. He just didn't look intimidated, scared. He wasn't respecting what Tulio was throwing his way. And then, that massive knockdown in the second round. I thought Tulio was out. He flatlined him. He really did. Jumped on him instantly. Tulio was able to crawl away to the fence, and then third round, all Roman Kopylov did the same thing. I don't think Tulio was fully recovered going into the third round. You could definitely see it. He was still rocked.
Well, Kopylov could have finished it. I don't know why he didn't just pounce on the finish. We just decided to clinch against the cage. It was
that was definitely something I thought of as well in the fight. But I think Kopylov, you look at his losses, he's 7-5 in the UFC, but the guys he's lost to are fairly good. Actually pretty good. Let me go through some of his losses. I mean, Gregory Rodriguez, Costa, Anthony Hernandez, Duraev was solid when he lost to him. Roberson, who I believe is still in the PFL right now. No, he is not. I'm thinking of someone else. But yeah, I mean, he's beat the guys that he's supposed to beat. He's lost to the guys who he's probably supposed to lose to. But yeah, I think he can probably get a shot at the top 15 again. I feel like Roman Kopylov's kind of been perennially either on the outskirts of the rankings or right in the 12 to 15 range. But yeah, definitely a solid performance. I mean, I think he raised his stock with this one.
Yeah, Tulio was genuinely cruising in round one. He looked faster. He was sharper. He was a step ahead. Kopylov had a couple of moments, but Tulio was just on a different level in round one. Then a jab catches Kopylov. He closes his eyes, and Kopylov lands a straight left that drops him. Round two ends with Tulio barely surviving. Round three, Tulio comes out wobbly. Kopylov goes right after him and puts it together. Decision win. And I just love Kopylov for this, man. The guy, he was walking out to Eye of the Tiger. Like from then on, I was like, oh, he's going to win. And even when round one was rough, he never stopped competing. He's all dog, all grit. That is Roman Kopylov. Matchmaking for him. Give me Roman Kopylov versus the winner of Shara Bullet and Michel Pereira.
I agree.
I think Kopylov versus
Shara.
Yeah. That would be an insane striking matchup. Kopylov versus Pereira would work too. Either way, that level of fight feels right for where he's at. Yeah, Roman Kopylov on a really, really good track here. Moving on to the prelims. Jim Miller with the Millie Gilly at 42 years old. Jim Miller is still here.
He's going to get that 40 in his next fight and call it. I'm calling it.
Was he not already at 40? Oh, yeah, he's at 39. Volkov got to 40. That's who I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Jared Gordon makes one mistake on the inside. Miller locks up the choke. Gordon taps in round one. That's it. That's the fight. And I know it sounds simple, but that's what makes Miller so dangerous. You give him an inch and he takes your consciousness. The context around this one made it hit different too. Miller was fighting at home in Jersey, battling through some serious stuff personally with his family fighting cancer. And he goes out and submits a guy 42 years old. Respect. Jared Gordon, he's had some genuinely great moments in the UFC. Obviously, he almost beat Paddy Pimblett. He had a split decision with Nasrat Haqparast. He had a solid knockout of Thiago Moises, but this loss stings, man. Miller just got him. That's really all it is.
Yeah, he did. Gordon shot a double leg takedown and did not put his head in the right place. And Jim Miller snatched up that neck like he's so good at. Yeah, definitely a good win for Jim Miller. Great win with all the circumstances included. But yeah, I mean, he's gonna keep fighting until he gets to 40 wins. Even he could lose his next 3 or 4 fights, and I think he's gonna really try and get that 40th win, and he deserves it. But yeah, I feel like Jared Gordon, like you said, he's had some very good moments in the UFC. But I feel like it's time to really think about how good is Jared Gordon really. I feel like everyone's been clinging to that he beat Paddy, even though it was a loss for Jared Gordon, and everything in between. But obviously he was hit by a car in his last fight, so we can't really hold that against him. But yeah, it's like he's not. I want to say it like this. He's not good, but he's not bad. And I think
he's mid.
Yeah, I think he's mid. Yes, pretty much. I didn't want to say it, but yeah, he's kind of mid. But yeah, Jim Miller did everything he could, and he got it out of there in the first round. If it went on to be a longer fight, I would have thought that Jared Gordon probably would have edged it out. But yeah, that's not a great loss for Jared Gordon, if I'm being completely honest. So not sure where he's going to go from here. But definitely Jim Miller just put him in another fun fight. This was supposed to be a fun fight. Maybe an unction matchup. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Not too much to take away from this fight, honestly.
All right. Grant Dawson versus Mateusz Rębecki.
Rębecki, bro.
Guys, I'm sorry. I guess we were wrong about this one, but I'm not gonna lie. Rębecki kind of sold it. He really did kind of sell it. Chris, I'm gonna let you go first because I know you might be more pissed about this than me. We both threw money on Rębecki and we lost. So sorry if the salt gets in the way. But what you think, man?
I mean, like, what was the game plan going into this? Being like, I'm gonna wrestle Grant Dawson. Anyone who watches UFC would probably feel the exact same way that we're feeling right now. On the feet, not even close. Rębecki was piecing up Grant Dawson, landed a knockdown, and instantly grappled. What are we doing? Like, what are we doing? You guys are teammates, and you should know this guy through and through and know that you don't want to wrestle with him. I personally think that Rębecki's ego just got in the way and wanted to prove that he was a better wrestler than Grant Dawson. But yeah, I mean, it just made no sense. Every time that Rębecki was trying to grapple, get it in the clinch, I was sucking my teeth. Like, what are you doing? What are we doing, bro? Yeah, I mean, Rębecki still looked pretty solid. I mean, Grant Dawson did Grant Dawson things. Once he was able to get control, land a takedown, threw up some sub attempts, everything we expected that Grant Dawson could do. But yeah, I'm just so confused at what this game plan was from Rębecki, that he was so hell bent on grappling. Kind of pissed me off, being completely honest. But yeah, I mean, like, money aside, this isn't even just, we're going to put that aside. It just, in terms of straight fan, like, loving of the game, fan of the UFC, what are we doing? That's the only thing I took away from this fight. What are we doing here? So,
I forgot about this fight. This was somewhat competitive, but I bet on Rębecki as well, so maybe that's why I didn't like this fight. Yeah, we tend to just kind of gloss over the fights that we lose money on. Well, we don't, but you may at home. Yeah, I don't know. Round one, Dawson looked elite. The grappling was dominant. He rocked Rębecki with a high kick. He controlled the pace beautifully. Round two, Rębecki drops Dawson and has the fight in his hands, and then he tries to wrestle. Just like you, Chris, I genuinely do not understand it. You have a hurt fighter on the ground in front of you, and you choose to grapple with one of the best grapplers in the division. That's the fight right there. You know, that's what swung it, because round three, Dawson gets the takedown and secures the decision. Good win for Dawson, but the Rębecki moment of bad fight IQ is going to haunt him. He's now dropped 3 straight. For Dawson, I like him against Beneil Dariush. Dariush just got knocked out by Quillen Salkild. He had a bad showing against Benoit Saint-Denis. I think the timelines do work in this case. We're not feeding Dariush to an absolute lightweight monster. Dawson is a manageable matchup for him. It's a manageable matchup for Dawson as well. I think the styles are also interesting. You know, could this fight really play out with a bunch of scrambles on the ground? Is it going to play out mostly on the feet because they respect each other's grappling? I think Beneil Dariush versus Grant Dawson is the fight. I think we should see it pretty soon.
I like that. You're not feeding Benny to a killer.
We got to take it.
He's a very good grappler too. So it would be interesting to see how that goes. Speaking of grappling.
Yeah. Yaroslav Amosov versus Joel Álvarez. This was destruction. Round one, good. Amosov was just suffocating on the mat, positionally dominant, controlled every single second. Round two, Álvarez gets a little striking going, and you think maybe things are shifting. Nope. Standing arm triangle, drag him down, strangle, done. Quick work. By the way, that mat return, one of the best mat returns I've seen in MMA. Well, not only this year, but one of the best ones I've seen recently. How does Grant do against Tofik Musayev? I think that would also be an interesting matchup if they don't want to give Dawson a rank shot, because I don't think Dariush is completely out of the rankings yet. I think Grant would win.
I think Grant would win too.
I really think Grant would win that.
Cage grabs, fence grabs. Still salty about that.
Because Musayev, I always think about that Orolbai fight. Ignacio Bahamondes, that was a war. That fight mostly played out on the feet. And then when Musayev did bring it to the ground, Bahamondes was not, sharp enough on the ground to handle the wrestling of Musayev. Grant Dawson is. It's that simple. I think Grant Dawson wouldn't have as hard of trouble of securing top control. So I think Dawson would take a decision there. But yeah, I think that would be an interesting fight as well if they wanted to do that. By the way, Yaroslav Amosov gets the finish and then just starts breakdancing.
That was awesome.
Because why not? When you're that good, you can just breakdance after you get a finish. Amosov on the mat is genuinely just a god amongst men. Like he is so slick. He is so precise, ultra smooth. He's ranked 14 at welterweight, and I think that's underselling him. He makes it look too easy. He called out the Brady Buckley winner, which is a big jump. But honestly, I think the skill set matches up. If you wanted to do that, I guess it would be against Sean Brady. I think Amosov and Brady would be an insane fight from a grappling perspective. That's one that I would want to see hands down. The jiu-jitsu level in that fight would be one of the highest levels probably in welterweight history. So yeah, on paper, that fight would be phenomenal. Maybe they protect Mike Mallet from him for now. You look at a matchup with Daniel Rodriguez instead if you wanted to keep him around that level. Either way, Amosov is a real contender, guys. Definitely remember that name. He's going to be a guy, a real player in this division, and definitely just elevated himself to contender status with this win.
Yeah, 100%. I was psyched when the UFC signed Amosov. Comes in, dominant win over Neil Magny, and he just made Joel Álvarez look like a chump. Like, if I'm being completely honest, he made him look stupid. He really did. And I saw a bunch of people on Joel Álvarez saying, on the feed, it's not even close. Joel Álvarez should starch him, which, is very fair. But, when you can grapple like that, you take that whole part of the equation out. I actually threw on Amosov by sub at plus 400, which was awesome. But yeah, I mean, he just made Joe Álvarez look like he was lost. And to do that to a guy like Álvarez, who has an immense amount of hype, is very, that is special. I think Amosov is hands down the best guy to come over from Bellator. Obviously, we have Pico in that conversation, but Amosov is 30-1. I mean, he looks great. He really does. I would love to see him versus Sean Brady. Make that happen in Philly. I think that would be sick. Electric. Such a high level fight. And I think he's worthy of the push. I mean, he's proved it outside the UFC. He's proving it inside the UFC.
He's also older too.
So yeah, he is older. I think he deserves
the fast track.
Yeah, 100%. And it's not like you're fast tracking him because he's old. Like, he has the results to back it up. He really does. So yeah, I think Amosov versus Brady would be sick. Make that happen in Philly. Yeah, I mean, wow. I was just amazed at how bad Álvarez was made out to be in this fight. I mean, if you look at this fight and you give him another grappler, there's going to be a lot of questions of whether Joel Álvarez can actually hang in high-level MMA fights. I'm not counting him out. Obviously, he's still very good, but I think it just speaks to how good Amosov is. So,
well, I said in the breakdown too, this fight had a lot of parallels to the Arman Sarukian fight for Joel Álvarez.
Yeah,
and Sarukian ended up finishing him, right? So, same thing kind of played out here. Álvarez just struggles on the ground against other guys that can enforce their will. He has a lot of submission wins on his record, and that's, I believe, 17. So that's nothing to be, we can't ignore that. But there are guys that are just going to physically dominate him. And because he's at welterweight, this is now the adjustment to the new weight class. At lightweight, he had so many physical advantages, and it all just dissipates as soon as he goes to welterweight, 100%. Where it's easier to make the weight, but, you're not
a weight bully anymore.
Yeah, the guys you're facing, it becomes a little bit tougher. Featured prelim of the night, Ataba Gautier and Ozzy Diaz. By the way, we have 15 people in chat. Make sure y'all all like up the stream.
Yes, sir.
Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Turn on those post notifications. Hop in our chat too. Let us know your thoughts on the event because we're going from the card just top to bottom, or bottom to top, I guess, but top to bottom. We're about to get in the main card very, very soon. So Atiba Gautier versus Ozzy Diaz. Chris, just a calculated, precise, and very patient performance from Gautier.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, did everything he needed to do. Very patient in the first round. He's not coming out like a gangbuster anymore, which I actually appreciate. I mean, as much as we want to see Gautier come out and just absolutely flatline people, he's taking a real MMA approach to these fights. And even though it's a guy like Ozzy Diaz, where he probably could have come out in the first round and finished it when he wanted to, I like to see him not throwing himself in harm's way. The calculatedness, he's definitely maturing, and he's 24. I mean, we're watching him develop in real time. And yeah, I mean, he did what he needed to do. He knocked out Ozzy Diaz brutally. And yeah, this is a guy that the UFC is really kind of slow cooking, which I like, because the worst thing that the UFC can do is throw people in high level fights and just absolutely derail their hype train. And I think Gautier is super special, and you don't want to do that to him, because we've said this before. It's just like building him a highlight reel. You want the maximum. You want to max value this hype around him.
Yeah, but low key by now, I think he has enough highlights.
Yeah, I think 6 fights is enough. I think 6 fights is enough. But like, the UFC is really extracting the max amount of value that you can get, which I think is very smart. And I think that shows how good that they think Gautier could be. I guess there's an adverse point of view where you can say, oh, well, they're giving him cans, so maybe they don't think he's that good. Mm-hmm. No, they just wanted to make sure he's completely ready for a high level fight, instead of just, throwing him in there and watching him get dissected. And then boom, now everyone thinks that Gautier sucks. So yeah, I mean, great performance. We're watching him mature in real time. And yeah, I love to see it. I think he's going to be really special at middleweight, and he still hits like a Mack truck,
which is an interesting point, because is this very telling of what the UFC thinks of him? Because maybe they do think of him as like a guy that has a lot of potential, but if you're constantly giving him cans,
right?
Are they scared? Are they scared to give him a real test? That could actually be the adverse thing where, maybe they don't really have a lot of faith in him, but they keep putting him in these big spots because they know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
Gautier did not come out blitzing like a maniac trying to get the first round finish. He was calm, cool, collected, fought off the clinch work in round 1, and then landed the perfect right hand in round 2. Down goes Diaz, done. And honestly, I liked this performance more than if he just run through someone in 30 seconds. As you mentioned, Chris, he showed patience, and he showed that when you have the power that you do, you don't need to force it. You just got to find your shot. And he did. He called out Adesanya after the fight, which is wild. But hear me out, yo. I do think it kind of makes a little bit of sense in a way. Adesanya has lost 4 straight, and a matchup like this could really launch Gautier if they pull the trigger. Yeah, 24 years old. He's got all the time in the world, but I don't hate this idea of him versus Izzy at all.
I don't either.
Too
early
big stars for them.
He's slumping Izzy. He's putting Izzy in the shadow realm.
Oh, I tend to agree. I feel so bad for Izzy. Why am I doing this to him?
I know. But yeah, no, I like what you said. I mean, if they do pull the trigger, that is the confirmation of how good the UFC thinks this guy is.
And that should be a 5-rounder. That's a main event. That's a big fight. So
yeah.
Would Ateba beat Michel Pereira? Without a doubt. He kills Pereira.
If they don't do Izzy, I mean, another test could be someone like Rodolfo Vieira.
He slumps Vieira too, for what it's worth.
Yeah, or maybe a Tresean Gore.
Yeah, he slumps Gore too, for what it's worth.
Yeah, like, it wouldn't be a crazy step up, but good for Gautier with that call out. I mean, that's a confident call out.
That was a really good call out. Like, I kind of thought a little bit of it after he was saying it, but as he kept progressing threw the call out, I was like, maybe it does make some sense. So that would be a big money fight for the UFC if they wanted to set that up. I know a lot of people maybe will push back against it, but I think Gautier is ready for something like this. All right, here we go. Khamzat making excuses for losing as bad weight cut, pathetic. Michael Morales is a literal 220-pound man who never missed weight and then destroys top contenders. I agree.
I do agree.
There's
he totally missed weight. I know for a fact Khamzat missed weight.
Well, he missed weight, but I don't think you can blame the weight cut on the fight, because if you weigh in at 185, you weigh in at 185. That's everything after that is decided in the octagon. There are no excuses. It's like when Uncle Iev brought up the rib injury. I'm like, bro, then just don't fight hurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. What Josh Van did. Josh Van, minor muscle strain. Hey, can we push this back? Sure.
Yeah, I pushed it back a month, and then he proved everyone wrong. People were calling him a paper champ, by the way, because he had a strain while he was training for one of the best grapplers in the world. I mean, it's crazy. We're going to get to Van and Tyra in a second. But,
also, Nico, thanks for tuning in, bro.
Hey, welcome to the chat, brother. Welcome to the chat. Let's get into this main card. Bobby Green, lad. Bobby Green. Bobby Green submits
new shorts, Bobby.
Yeah, he's getting some custom shorts. Fuck the 100K. We'll give you some shorts, buddy.
It's kind of awesome, honestly. Like that means, dude, he must be rolling in dough if he doesn't need 100K.
Yeah, nah. You can keep Sean Strickland on the ground, but your lungs would turn into mist, keeping him down because of his get-up game. Lungs turning into mist. I'm gonna use that.
Yeah, that's a good saying.
That's kind of fire. You're totally right. You're totally right. His get-up game was phenomenal in this fight.
Yep.
We're gonna get into that very soon. This was an ass whooping. This was ass whooping central. Guys, I'm sorry. I took the lone wolf on Jeremy Stevens. I don't know why I did that. This guy.
It was there. Like everything was there for what you said could happen.
It really was not. I is one of my worst picks of the year. Jeremy Stevens
trying to make you feel better.
He's so washed beyond belief. 4 minutes and 22 seconds. And it's kind of funny because Bobby Green is a big pothead, and he got it right very close to 420, but 422. Stevens was wobbled early on the feet, and it was just over, man. Like Green dominated, and honestly, it felt like the end of the road for Jeremy Stevens. He's now, what does that say, 29-23 as a pro? I mean, that is rough. And he missed weight on top of it.
Yeah.
I believe Bobby Green called out, who did he call out? I believe it was Moicano. Moicano is ranked number 9. Green is unranked on paper. It is a stretch, but the thing is, both guys are popular, and realistically, neither of these guys are fighting for a belt. So if you want to forget the rankings for a second, Bobby Green versus Moicano is a pretty fun fight. People would definitely tune in to see it. I'm definitely for it. I'm not against it. Could McGregor beat Bobby Green if he returned? Yes.
Yeah, probably.
He very well could. People are giving him a shot against Max. There's no way people wouldn't give him a shot against Bobby Green. Shout out to our boy T Money.
Yeah, shout out Terrence.
We had a huge argument. He said McGregor has more power than Carlos Prates.
Wait, what? I was not on that call. I would have flamed you, Terrence.
I think you were. We were talking about Prates and McGregor.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I think I did flame Terrence for that.
Which is, guys, I don't own that take. I completely disagree with it.
That's utterly blasphemous.
That's how far the McGregor fans will go. So, McGregor could definitely beat Bobby Green.
Would Bobby Green KO Edson Barbosa in a rematch? Yes.
Yeah. I mean, Bobby Green just seems to be operating on a different level. They'd have to give him you think about the guys that he's had to fight that really beat him. Jalen Turner and Mauricio Hufi recently. Both of those guys are class. Very, very class guys. Jeremy Stevens is not on that level. Lance Gibson is not on that level. Zell Huber, sure as hell, is not on that level. Because McGregor could be washed beyond belief because of all that coke. People seem to think that. And I don't disagree. I mean, he's been away for so long that I would think he just comes back and looks washed, especially considering his last fight. He suffered a very, very gruesome injury. But I don't know. the UFC has been so weird this year that he could come back and just win his next fight.
Yeah.
I really just don't put anything beyond the realm of belief anymore. But Chris, what'd you think of the performance from Bobby Green? Maybe I should just start calling him King Green. I guess it's
he fought like a king. He did. That was an utter ass whooping. A little bit of a late career resurgence for Bobby Green. He's looked really good in his last 3 fights. He dismantled Zellhuber, dismantled Jeremy Stevens. I wouldn't say he dismantled Lance Gibson, but definitely showed that there was levels to this game. And then obviously Lance Gibson right after that goes out and knocks out Chase Hooper. So, that win is looking really good. But Bobby Green, he's always had this style, and that's what I love about him. He's never changed his fight style, hands down, constantly talking mass amounts of shit in the octagon. He just frustrates people. Jeremy Stevens, I fully got what you were saying on the prediction video that all it takes is one good shot. The reason I didn't pick Jeremy Stevens is just the level of technicality in this fight. Stevens is just a bar fighter. He's just let's swing wild overhands and wild hooks and hopefully one lands. Bobby Green he approaches this like it's a chess match. He really does. But he looked really good. I think that Moicano fight could be awesome. Obviously I don't think he's not going to be fighting for a championship, but definitely a guy that could stay in the rankings towards the later half of his career if he keeps doing this. I would love to see his shorts when they come out too. That is actually hilarious.
He actually said he wants the Apollo Creed shorts.
Yeah, I saw that. That would be lit.
That would go stupid.
Yeah, no. Shout out Bobby Green, bro. He's so funny. He's entertaining too. A late career resurgence. You love to see this.
Shout out to all my stoners, man. Shout out to all my stoners.
Facts.
Holloway would destroy McGregor, bro. They shouldn't make that match. They will. When the money talks, they will.
Yeah, when the money rolls in, that match will definitely be made.
I do agree though. Max is going to destroy him. It's not going to be close.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I am a McGregor fan, so Bobby Green, 53 career fights.
Yeah,
he's doing this in fight 53. Awesome.
He's cracked.
He is.
We'll see who they give him next. Definitely be interesting to see where the matchmaking goes with him. I want Petr Yan versus Umar for international fight.
They're going to get Marab a rematch.
Yeah, they have to run the trilogy first. I do want to see Yan versus Umar though, because that would be sick. Phenomenal fight. I think Yan would win. But they got to run the trilogy first. I think that's just the higher priority. And Umar just needs to fight again. He's going to have another contender fight because his performance against Figgy just didn't cut it.
Yeah, it didn't do it for me. And then the performance before that against Batista when he almost
he needs a finish. Yeah, he needs a finish. So
he's a decision merchant.
And it'll be interesting to see where Umar goes from here because they announced Bautista and Corey for International Fight Week. So I don't know who they're going to match him up against there. Not Bobby. Get him out of my head, man. Sean Brady and Joaquin Buckley. Chris, this was not a fight. It just wasn't.
Dude. Holy steam on Joaquin Buckley.
Yeah.
That line flipped so hard. And Brady should have been minus 10,000 in this fight. Or at least he fought like it. 30-25 on 2 judges' scorecards. Rightfully so. There were definitely 2 10-8 rounds.
Yeah.
He just completely outclassed Buckley. That was not a fight. I think there was a lot of steam also because of the Michael Morales fight. You have 2 crazy power punchers going against Sean Brady. I think the size disparity definitely got Sean Brady in the last fight. In this fight, he came in. He looked physically healthy. He looked very, very big, very solid. The grappling is unmatched. I wouldn't say unmatched, but it's superb. It's really top notch. We saw it in the Leon fight. We've seen it in prior fights, and to think that this guy lost to Bilal Muhammad by knockout is still crazy to me. The thing for Buckley has always been the grappling. He actually looked solid against Usman in that 5-rounder. But Brady just took it to a completely different level. Like it was like glue. It really was. It was like what sorry, this fight was what Pat Sabatini wanted to do to William Gomis.
Yeah, he just failed in execution of doing it.
Yes. Yeah. Sabatini failed in execution. Sean Brady executed on an extremely high level. I think that him versus Amosov would be phenomenal. Like that fight needs to happen. It really does. But yeah, kind of sucks for Joaquin Buckley. He is definitely one of my favorites in the UFC. He's very fun. He goes out there. He's not gonna be deterred. Like he will be back. I think they'll put him in a fun fight next fight with a striker. But yeah, Sean Brady, man, what utter domination.
Yeah, this was an absolute dismantling. Brady just grapple fucked Buckley. Full mount, ground and pound, takedown after takedown, positional control for 3 straight rounds. As you said, 2 judges had it 30-25. But what's crazy is Buckley spent nearly a year working on his wrestling and grappling just to get handled on the ground by Sean Brady. Like that
didn't even matter.
That is a crazy, brutal reality check. I mean, that is insane. And also, he was training with Kamaru. So I don't know. Brady's ground game has always been good, but it looked absolutely insane in this fight. The guy is operating at a different level. In terms of where he goes from here, I do like the Amosov fight. Again, battle of grapplers would just be a fascinating stylistic puzzle because, again, who wins the striking fight when both guys are elite wrestlers? I think that's an interesting question to ask there. I do think JDM makes the most sense, though. I think that's the route they're going to try and push. There's also the winner of Bilal and Bonfim. If they want to run back a rematch with Bilal and Brady, I think there is going to be some interest in that. If they wanted to do it, of course. Strickland first defeated a black, a Muslim, and now a Mexican, and now a Muslim minority destroyer. Yeah, I mean, him and Drew Dober, it does not get any better. It doesn't get any worse. I'm not going to get canceled.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think it gets any worse.
In terms of the matchmaking for Buckley, I mean, this is a bad loss. He's going to get dropped in the rankings. Maybe they match him with the loser of Bilal and Bonfim, or you look at a Euros Medic fight potentially. He's going to need to be rebuilt a bit after this because this is a tough one.
I was thinking it's not going to happen. I would love to see a him versus Kevin Holland rematch, but they can't put Holland in the rankings. They can't use that spot to jump him. But could we see a Joaquin Buckley versus Leon Edwards? We could
happen. I mean, I don't know. Is D-Rod fighting Leon? I guess that's the rumor going around right now at International Fight Week.
If that's happening, then yeah, I mean, I think an Euros Medic fight would be phenomenal too. 2 guys that just love to go ham in the octagon. Yeah,
they just got D-Rod out of jail and they're throwing him on International Fight Week.
Shout out D-Rod.
Shout out to D-Rod, man. That's a real one.
Yeah, but what a performance from Sean Brady.
All right. Alexander Volkov versus Waldo Cortes Acosta. I picked Waldo on the pod. If you go follow our Instagram, that's where our final picks go. I pick flipped on this fight. I switched to Volkov for the better.
Screw you, Shrikar.
I'm just him. I'm literally just him. Volkov wins 29-28. That was the correct decision. It was not a robbery.
30-27 is blasphemous. Sorry, I'll let you go and then I'll explain my gripes with this.
I think 29-28 Waldo is blasphemous. Here's how I saw it. Volkov was moving well on the outside. He was circling off the power shots. He was landing the body kicks. The calf kicks were landing. Waldo had a good jab, but like that was it. Round 1, Volkov on output. He avoided the damage. He got it. Round 2, Volkov stunned him with a jab. He doesn't rush. He just puts a right hand on him and backs off. I mean, it was a very smart fight for Volkov. He circled away from that power right the whole fight. He kind of stayed behind that body kick. He kept himself out of danger. 3rd round I gave to Waldo. He was more active. He caused some visible damage. But the commentary was acting like Waldo was just crushing Volkov. I was like, are we watching the same fight? Which happens a lot with the commentary, to be honest. But, I mean, 29-28 Volkov was the correct decision. And, guys, he deserves a title shot. I don't know how he's going to get it. I really don't. He doesn't really have to fight again, but he's probably going to have to because Pereira and Gunn are fighting at the White House. So I don't know how that's going to work. But why would Ilya even confront Josh Hokett? Hokett would squash him like a bug. There's some harsh truth. There's some very harsh truth.
Ilya would low-key see a world where Ilya knocks out Josh.
Yeah. Very, very harsh truth.
Maybe that's just my bias for Ilya Topuria. Yeah, but I didn't realize that the commentary was actually that biased. I had to watch these fights on mute.
No, it was bad.
But yeah, I mean, I just think 30-27 is blasphemous. I don't know how you don't give a single round to Waldo. But yeah, I don't think it was a robbery. Personally, I gave the first round to Waldo very marginally. But yeah, like it's not a robbery. It really isn't. It was a solid fight though. And Volkov, like you said, did everything he needed to do. Even when he wasn't in range, he was still touching up the legs. He was max point fighting. He really was. He was just trying to rack up points, damage, anything that looked good. And I think Waldo's downfall in this fight was really just the tentativeness. Like it looked like he really didn't want to engage in certain situations, especially in the first round. And I think that's why they gave it to Volkov is because, Waldo was stalking him, trying to pressure him against the fence, trying to cut off the angles. But in a situation like that, when, you have one guy is controlling the octagon and another guy who's kind of just, even though they're not deadly leg kicks, like he's still racking up quote unquote damage.
Right.
It looks better for the guy that's actually throwing and trying to make it a fight. Like Waldo was just stalking him down. I think he was really just hunting that one punch knockout that we've seen from him before. But yeah, I think Waldo did have some moments in round one, bigger moments than Volkov had. And that's why I gave it to him. And not like moments, but I mean, like he landed a few bigger shots, but I guess the overall accumulation of damage would go on for Volkov. And that's why it's hard. Cause some of these fights, it's like sometimes it's based on the amount of strikes that are thrown. And then sometimes it's based on, moments. And when I say moments, it's like, Waldo's throwing crazy haymakers like twice in the round. And some judges think that looks better for a fighter when, the other guy is landing strikes, but not throwing damaging shots. But yeah, I personally had Waldo winning. I'm not upset. I still think it was a good pick on the podcast. And yeah, I mean, Waldo, he's now in the upper echelon of heavyweight, and not that heavyweight's a good division because we'll perennially shit on it. But
yeah.
I mean, I think that Waldo definitely has some things to take away from this. The tentativeness definitely needs to change a little bit. He needs to he can't be scared of getting knocked out in heavyweight. Like you have to go for broke in this division. But yeah, I mean, it was a solid fight. It really was. I think it was a good interlude into or a good prelude into the championship fights.
Yep. Remember last time Joshua Van won in the co-main against Pantoja?
You said he won. He did win.
Yep. Guys, he beat Pantoja. We don't need to see the rematch. No, I'm playing. Jan got a big upset win over Murad. Maybe if Van wins his next fight and it's a co-main, we should bet a bunch on the dog in the main. Hey, yeah, we should have followed that with Strickland, huh? I'm actually gonna do that next time. The underdog's always gonna win when Van is the co-main. Volkov is the only heavyweight who doesn't have that one punch knockout power.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, Curtis Blades too, I would say, doesn't have one punch KO power. You can even argue Hokett. I don't even think Hokett has one punch. He just tries and out volumes you.
Yeah, it's volume.
But nah, yeah, I think Volkov is definitely more of that technical kickboxer. Okay, I'm going to circle. I'm going to make sure I avoid damage. I'm going to counter at the right moments. And it's gotten him very, very far. I mean, he has 40 wins on his record. Like, you can't really argue against that. But you're right. You're definitely right. He doesn't have one punch KO power. But good win for Volkov nonetheless. We'll we'll see what they do with him because heavyweight is in a very, very weird spot with the title picture. Is Van versus Tyra fight of the year so far? Yes, it is.
Yep.
Yeah, you know what's crazy, Chris? Because after Blades versus Hokit happened, I remember you saying, I don't think anything is going to top Blades versus Hokit as fight of the year. I think this topped it. I really do.
Actually,
I think not.
I think they can both be at one.
Nah, because skill for skill, this was much better than Blades. Blades Hokit was just them scrapping. And I don't mean
that's also pretty
great fight, but wasn't there a very good fight on the London card? How does Van versus Tyra compare to that?
Yeah, it was Mason Jones versus Axel Sola.
Mason Jones and Axel Sola is top 3. I just think because the stakes weren't as high, I do factor that in. Because the stakes weren't as high, it's hard. Volkov looked like Paddy Pimblett in the ring, bro. Yeah, he did. He did. I kind of wish he still had the hair that you could comb because that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Now he's rocking cornrows, which is,
I mean, that's pretty ill. That's pretty ill.
It is, bro. For him, yeah, it's scary. And then his back tat, Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But okay, let's talk about this one. Obviously, 2 guys in their 20s just going to war. This was the biggest fight in Asian MMA history. We laid out the stakes before the fight even started in our predictions video. Joshua Van was the first Asian UFC champion. Tatsuro Taira was trying to be the first Japanese UFC champion, which is crazy that we still don't have one. But yeah, the stakes are important for fight. Yeah, for sure. Van's boxing and output was just on another level. Absolutely on another level. Tyra brought elite grappling. He got to mount. He had back position. He controlled Van in different spots, but he couldn't do a single thing with it. That's the thing. It was more of just lay and pray. Van's get-up game was freaking immaculate. Every time Tyra got him down, Van worked back to his feet, went right back to boxing him up. There was one moment of the fight where I do think Van had really bad fight IQ. He had Tyra badly hurt in round 3. And instead of just punching his way to the finish, he goes for the rear naked choke attempts and lets Tyra recover. He should not have gone for the sub. He should have just laid ground and pound on him. But it really didn't matter at the end of the day. It almost came back to bite him because Tyra was able to wrestle him up in round 4, but Van did come back in round 5, relentless body work, uppercuts to the body, breaking Tyra down, and the referee stepped in to stop it. Some people called it early. I thought it was a fair stoppage. Tyra's body language was saying he was done. He was completely out of it. And guys, I've been a Van believer for a very, very long time. I picked him against Pantoja. What we saw tonight was just an evolution in his game. The get-up game has passed probably the most serious test he could have faced in this division. The boxing was super sharp. He really mixed it up well. The cardio held up over 5 rounds. He is ready for Pantoja again. And that rematch with what we know now feels like an entirely different fight. Pantoja is physically stronger than Tyra. I think he punches harder than Tyra. That fight is going to be violent. I cannot wait for it. Guys, I'm going to pick Van again. I cannot bet against Van. I can't do it. Every time I'm getting him at dog money, it just feels like a blessing.
It feels free.
For Tatsuro Taira, I think he's going to be taking on Horiguchi or Kopp. I think that makes the most sense. He's got heart. He definitely has real talent. I don't think that really went anywhere. His stock didn't go down at all. But I do think the head movement is a big problem for him. His head just stays on that center line. And I think his striking still needs a bit more layering. I think he needs to diversify it a bit more. He loves that straight, but he doesn't tend to mix it up as much. I think that's where he needs to work. And the guys he's training with Gaethje, he's training with Sandhagen. They can help him there. Tyra will be back. But tonight, Van was just levels above him. Levels.
Yeah, I so agree. Shrikar, if you could switch the screen to what I'm sharing right now.
I see it. Yo, how do you how do you eat this, bro?
How did he survive? Even Josh Van was like, I don't know how he got up.
Yeah, I was fine with the stoppage as well. Tyra got hurt earlier in the fight too. Yeah, I think that does matter. Tyra literally got dropped. He almost got finished in round 3. I mean, when you get to round 5, if he's like kind of physically shutting down, you call it. It's like Gaethje and Tony. You just call it.
Yep.
These and grapplers like Khamzat and Tyra need to improve their boxing. Yeah, Khamzat too.
Yeah. Tyra was pissed at the stoppage. He took out his mouthpiece, flung it across the octagon, and death stared the ref. I forgot who was reffing, but yeah,
I
was
get
mad.
it though, because it's a title fight. You know, it's what you work your whole life to. You want to keep going in a title fight.
But to be fair, Josh Van would have pounced on him and finished it anyway. So I think that it was a very fair stoppage. Yeah, I don't know how Tatsuro Taira ate this shot. He looks dead. This is almost as bad as the Tony Ferguson, the Michael Chandler front kick knockout.
Yeah, well, Van actually, in his post-fight interview, he said he thought Tyra went out cold, and he thought he woke him up when he went for the ground and pound.
He could have. He really could have.
I think Tyra was low-key unconscious here.
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah, but man, Josh Van is so good, bro. He's so good. Yeah, I'm taking Josh Van until the wheels fall off in his UFC career. I'm winning with him and I'm losing with him. I do not care. I really don't. When he came into the UFC a few years ago, I saw his first fight and I was like, this kid is going to be special. And he is proving it time and time again. And it's always hilarious to think that the one person who has beat him in the UFC so far is none other than Charles Energy Johnson.
My guy.
Yes, sir. Yeah, phenomenal fight from Josh Van, and even Tatsuro Taira. I think Tyra had a good game plan. It's just Van, man, is so good at getting up. He's so good at getting back up. And Shrikar, I want to mention something that you said on the prediction video that I think really came into fruition in this fight and was on display. Has something to do with the get up game. He executes his underhooks masterfully.
Yeah.
Masterfully. I mean, as soon as you get in on that shot, it's just boom, straight underhooks. And he is very powerful from that position. Like, it doesn't matter how much leverage he has. It feels like it's just, if he gets one underhook in, he's able to flip positions.
Right.
And I think that is super important in MMA. Like, he is a very educated fighter.
Hey, my bad. I'm gonna take down this photo of Tyra.
Yeah, you can. You can. I feel bad. We're kind of putting him on blast. But yeah. But yeah, he executes his underhooks masterfully. I mean, he is not a grappler, but man, he has good grappling IQ. Yeah, it got scary in the first round. It really did. You know, how easy Tyra got that takedown. You know, it wasn't tremendously easy, but it felt like Tyra really could have swayed the fight and used that to his advantage. And Josh Van, he downloads data and he executes it in the next time in the next opportunity that it's thrown at him. Yeah, the striking is unmatched, man. He is such a good boxer. I mean, I think right now three best strikers in the UFC. In no order. Well, no order. I've said Carlos Prates is the best striker in the UFC. So I'm going to keep him at one. And then I think it goes Ilia Topuria and Josh Van. I really do. I think that's a very fair list. But yeah, man, he is looking phenomenal. He really is.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It was awesome to see. It really was.
Hamzat at least held his own and was getting tagged, but Tyra got completely outclassed. Yeah, it was just levels on the feet.
Also, something you mentioned with Tyra keeping his head on the center line, and we're going to get to that in the next fight. Hamzat did the exact same thing. Did not move his head at all. And I like Hamzat. I love his movement because he's always like bouncing and, you know, doing that. And we did not really see that from him, only in the later stages of the fight. But yeah, I mean, Tyra definitely will be back. I think that this definitely was a little bit of an expose on Tatsuro Taira.
Yeah, Chris, I was gonna touch on this. I think Pereira still deserves to be in the top 3.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Pereira.
I don't think you can put Van over Pereira.
Okay, we'll put Pereira in the top 3, and we'll move Josh Van down to 4. That just shows how much I love Josh Van.
Best boxers, Van is top 2, probably behind Ilia.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Disregard what I said. It's late.
Best strikers is a different combo. Maybe that's a video idea for us.
I still think Prates is the best striker. I'm gonna stick with that. After his last, I'm gonna stick with that. But yeah, we'll disregard that. Who is the best wrestler in UFC of all time in your opinion? I think it's Khabib.
Yeah, it's tough to argue against Khabib.
Yeah, It's tough to argue.
Well, you could argue for Islam, to be honest.
You could argue for Islam. I still think, I think Islam is a better all-around fighter than Khabib. But in a straight-up wrestling match,
pure wrestling,
no one who's as dominant as Khabib.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree with that. People called Van a paper champ.
I think Jon Jones is the best wrestler in the UFC of all time. Look, I love Jon Jones. He's my GOAT. He's definitely top 5, but I cannot say he's a better traditional wrestler than Khabib Nurmagomedov or Islam Makhachev.
Well, it just depends if you favor Greco-Roman or Sambo, but
yeah,
no, neither here nor there. Jon Jones was a great wrestler. You can't take that away from him. Main event time. Khamzat Chimaev, Sean Strickland. The moment you've all been waiting for, the main event. I'll just say it. This is the upset of the decade. I think this is a bigger upset than Izzy, to be honest with you.
I will agree with you because Khamzat felt untouchable. He really did.
I genuinely did not think Khamzat would lose for the rest of the year. Or not the rest of the year, the rest of his career. Sorry.
Yep.
I thought Izzy would lose at some point. I know the year isn't halfway over yet, but do you think Strickland will be fighter of the year because he beat Fluffy and he's already the front runner.
Yeah.
He's already the front runner. It would take some crazy shit for someone to overtake Strickland.
It would have to take Josh Van beating Pantoja and then Manel Cop again.
Yeah, literally, if Van defends his title 3 times in a year, that will be clear fight of the year. But this is upset of the decade. Sean Strickland just became a 2-time middleweight champion as a massive underdog twice. He has pulled off 2 of the most stunning upsets in middleweight history. The man is genuinely built different. Go check out our video that we did on Sean Strickland before our predictions went up. We talked about the consequences of this fight. If Strickland were to win, where would he rank all-time middleweight conversations? I think he's top 3. Undoubtedly top 3. The jury was still out going into this fight, but I think this really just cemented his legacy. This was crazy. A little breakdown of how the fight went. Round 1 was all Chimaev wrestling. He was riding Strickland, positionally dominant. Looked like he was going to just smother him for 5 rounds. But here's the thing, 0 damage. No ground and pound. No real moments of danger. Strickland kept fighting out of bad positions and got back to his feet. Round 2, Chimaev looks noticeably slower. His wrestling starts failing him. Okay? He actually pulls guard at one point. Strickland starts landing clean jabs, and by the end of the round, he's doing ground and pound from top. We do not see Khamzat Chimaev in bottom position like ever. I don't think I've ever seen it.
No,
at least in the UFC.
He pulled guard.
I mean, that was insane. As soon as he started pulling guard, I was like, guys, go live bet Strickland. He was pick 'em odds. As soon as Khamzat pulled guard, I hope you went and live bet Strickland.
Strickland was like plus 700 going into the decision.
No way, actually?
Or he maybe not 700. He was definitely plus 500 going into the decision.
That's crazy. I hope you got him there too, because Strickland won this fight. But yeah, round 2 was a complete 180. Round 2 was all Strickland. Round 3, Chimaev comes out kickboxing. He lands a couple of decent right hands. He had some moments. But, I mean, Strickland's jab was an absolute nightmare for this guy all night. Just the straight punches getting through constantly. Chimaev was eating them. Round 4, Chimaev wakes back up. He takes him down. He controls him. He backs him up on the feet. Secures the round there. Okay, we're in a fight again. Round 5, Chimaev shoots and gets a little control early, but doesn't have the gas to sustain it. The cardio failed him. Strickland fights back to his feet. It becomes a kickboxing match, which is Chimaev's nightmare scenario here. Chimaev is throwing. He's missing or he's landing on the arms. Strickland is just precise. He's landing way more volume. Judges see it 48-47 Strickland, and he gets the hand raised. I think this whole narrative of this fight being a robbery is absolutely insane. Strickland, I think, clearly won this fight. Even when I rewatched it this morning, last night I was like, okay, maybe Khamzat could have won it. Strickland won this fight clear. The output was just unbelievable. And when the rounds on the feet started adding up, there was just, it was his fight. Chimaev had a terrible weight cut. He was apparently trying to move up to 205 for a Yuri Prohaska fight and then cut back down to 185. I get that. He definitely looked like a lesser version of himself. He was less physical. He was gassing earlier. The takedowns were failing in the championship rounds. Again, guys, he was pulling guard. We never see Khamzat pull guard. I literally was shocked. I was like, what in the world is happening?
I thought he was hurt. I thought he got hurt.
Yeah. No, me too. And after the fight, there was genuine love between the two. Chimaev put the belt around Strickland's waist. They embraced. Yep, the beef was clearly overstated. But here's the thing, guys. Well, actually, I'll let Chris go before I get into the matchmaking. Let me answer some of these questions first.
Yeah, sure.
And if Strickland defends his belt later this year, that solidifies him as fighter of the year. Yes, 100%.
Yep.
Damn, Strickland defeated Prime Khamzat and Prime Izzy. I don't think Anderson Silva defeats a Prime Khamzat like Sean did.
That's a tough one, man.
I think Prime Anderson, after seeing what I've seen in this fight.
Yeah. I low key think that Anderson Silva probably would. Honestly, I think he would have knocked out Khamzat.
I think in a hypothetical Pereira Khamzat matchup, I think Pereira would win now that I've seen this.
Yep. This was an expose on Khamzat Chimaev.
Besides DDP and Pereira, who in the history of welterweights and middleweights beat Strickland in their prime? GSP would do it.
GSP.
I think
welterweights. I mean, I could see Islam beating Strickland if he ever moved up to 185.
Yes, no, without a doubt. I'd take Islam. I'd take Silva.
Dude, I see. He said besides that, I think Strickland would beat Prime Silva. I don't think so. Weidman, Bisping, yes. Romero, yes. Prime Bobby Nux. I don't know. I would low key side with Whitaker in that. That would be a tough one. I don't think Sean Strickland beats a Prime Anderson Silva.
Maybe Prime Usman gives Strickland a tough fight for sure. I mean, we've already seen Usman and Strickland before, and Usman pretty much did what he needed to, but that was early in Strickland's career. You know?
He's never moving back down to welterweight.
Also, Ian Gary could potentially give Strickland a tough fight for sure. Because I think he's one of the only guys that could like out technical or out point Strickland. And those are the guys you look for. You know, DDP was able to do it because he's technical. Well, he's awkward, but he's technical enough on the feet that he can kind of outpoint and outgun Strickland in these matchups. Khamzat was not able to do it. He just doesn't have the striking prowess. Bobby Nux would definitely have the striking prowess to do it. For a while, I've wanted to see Strickland versus Yuri at light heavyweight. That would be really interesting, actually.
That would be interesting. I don't think Strickland's ever going to move up.
Yeah. I mean, we did see him move up for the Imavov fight, but
I think he's at the perfect weight class.
If I'm being
completely honest.
Yeah. His weight cut isn't terrible. You know, he seems to have a good go of it every time. I think the cut is in most matches the game breaker, not only on Khamzat, but with so much other fighters too. Hey, Kane Fragile, welcome to the chat.
Yes,
brother.
Welcome to the chat, bro.
No, you're right, man. You're right. Definitely right. I think he didn't gas out because of the weight cut. He gassed out because keeping Sean on the ground, so he depletes the gas tank. Yeah,
I agree with that too. He expended a lot of energy in that first round. I think the weight cut factors into that too, because he definitely did not make weight, and he looked really crappy on the scales. But yeah, I mean, the question that I'm going to pose to everyone in the chat and Shrikar, and we talked about it last night, is: are you going to look at this fight as the fight that Strickland won, or the fight that Khamzat Chimaev lost?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question.
Because I've been debating this for the past 24 hours of how I'm going to look at this in the future. And I'm not taking anything away from Strickland by saying this, because he definitely deserves the credit for this fight, taking down an absolute giant like Khamzat Chimaev. But it felt like the ball was in Khamzat Chimaev's court and he turned it over. He fumbled it. We did not see him shoot a takedown for nearly 12 to 13 minutes of this fight.
But I also think that's a credit to Strickland. I'm going to argue Strickland won this fight.
Yeah, I mean, I can go back and forth, but it's definitely going to be I feel like it's going to be an age-old question of, do you view this as the night that Khamzat lost or the night that Strickland took down Khamzat Chimaev?
For that reason, and that reason only, Khamzat's been calling for it on Twitter. He wants a rematch, even though he went to Dana and said he's moving up to 205. I don't know what's going on. If he's staying at middleweight, I need to see this rematch happen.
Yes, 100%.
I need to see a conclusive end to this saga. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And again, like it's an unfinished rivalry to me. If he's staying at middleweight, do this on the MSG card. Get it done. I think Strickland Chimaev 2 is a massive fight. The UFC would be crazy not to book it.
Yep.
I just think you have to do the rematch because this is such a stain on Khamzat's legacy. If he just moves up to 205, people are not going to forget this. Like, this is going to be something that follows him around unless he does something about it. And I do think his cut will be better if he aims farther down the road and he's not bulking up to 205 and then cutting back down. I think if he really focuses on this cut, it will be a different fight.
I agree.
How would Ian Gary versus Strickland go? That would probably be so boring. It would be boring. But I do think Gary would just outpoint him. I think he has he's a little bit faster with the hands. I do worry about the jab of Strickland breaking through potentially the guard of Gary, but Gary is very defensively sound. I think he would be fine in that case. I think over 3 rounds, I would take Gary. Over 5, I'd potentially maybe lean Strickland, but that's an interesting one. Islam won't beat Strickland. Islam couldn't submit JDM. Forget about one of the middleweight goats, Strickland. It doesn't matter that Islam didn't submit JDM.
Islam didn't submit JDM because he didn't want to submit JDM.
He submitted JDM mentally.
Yeah, he mentally destroyed him. He mentally broke him. And even on the feet, Islam is still a really good striker. So it's like the difference between Khamzat and Islam is that Islam has dominant wrestling, but he also has fairly dominant striking.
I do get where you're coming from because Chimaev is probably the most physical wrestler that Sean could have seen. And Islam's style of wrestling is a little different, maybe something that Strickland could handle. But as you mentioned, Chris, it's the gap on the feet as well is between Khamzat and Islam is pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen a lot of Silva's matches. Would he get through Strickland's Philly shell? Yes, he would.
Yes. He
that dude will get through anything.
He was insane. I mean, the dude made people look stupid.
I surely believe that Prime Adesanya is a much better striker than Anderson Silva. No way.
No. Nope.
Prime Silva, you could argue, is probably like top 5 striker ever.
Adesanya based a lot of his striking off Anderson Silva. That's kind of like saying Kobe is better than Jordan. It's like Kobe modeled his game after Jordan.
Islam wouldn't be able to keep Strickland on the ground, and Strickland is a better striker than Prime Adesanya.
You are bugging.
Nah, he's not a better striker than Prime Izzy. I won't give him that.
I mean,
he did outstrike Izzy though.
So you think that Strickland's a better striker than Prime Anderson Silva? Because if you said Adesanya is a better striker than Silva, and that Strickland's a better striker than Adesanya. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to completely disagree with you on this one.
Yeah, I don't know if I can get behind that.
Yeah, but obviously,
I do get where you're coming from, but I cannot, in good faith, put him over a Prime Silva.
I'll pose this question to you, Nico. What makes Strickland a better striker than those two in their prime? And Kane says, don't know if it's true that Strickland trained with Khamzat. He did. And there is video that they did train and Khamzat submitted him. But if it's true that he also has a big influence because he learns also much more tricks, coaches create most of the tactics. That is true. I mean,
T-Money was talking to me about that actually. How
Strickland felt it.
Strickland's felt it before.
It's like the exact same thing. And Shrikar, I'm gonna mention this to you. The Shrikar was hell bent on this, and he was so right. Is that the first person to beat Merab on his crazy win streak it was going to be a rematch because you felt it. You felt the cardio. You felt the pace. You felt the wrestling. And that was the truest thing that has been said on this podcast.
Oh man, you're too generous. I appreciate that.
I mean, but you were completely right. It was like we saw Jan pretty much get dominated in that first fight. And the second fight, it was a complete, utter 180. But yeah, it's like, you've trained with these guys, you felt it before, you know what to expect. And I think that really matters. It really does. Silva wouldn't survive current middleweights, bro. It's simple and evolved sport. I think his style transcends time.
I agree. I agree with the evolved sport argument in some cases. I just don't think it applies to prime Anderson Silva. Frankly, I think it applies to John Jones. I really do. I've argued it before on this podcast that I don't think John Jones would stack up with. It was my whole reason for Tom Aspinall beating John Jones. I won't go down that rabbit hole again. So I do hear you. Prime Silva in this era would be fine. The only thing I worry about is his defense, because obviously he tended to get a little cocky, and it's ultimately got knocked out against Weidman. But I don't know. It's Anderson Silva. Also, which elite striker did Anderson Silva even face? He fought all cans strikers. Yes.
That could be part of the argument.
But I do think stylistically, watching his fights, he still would have held up against. He wouldn't hold up against every current middleweight. I do think he would hold up against a Sean Strickland. I think he would hold up against a Robert Whittaker. I think he would hold up against. He held up against Izzy.
In
young, hungry Izzy. So I guess that's evidence number one right there. If you train months with them, it becomes normal. So thanks for agreeing. Hey, man.
Yeah, of course.
Man. You're spitting right there. You're spitting.
Yeah, no, I appreciate everyone. We have a lively chat at 2:37, 2:43 in the morning Eastern time.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all. I mean, this card really called for it. What about if Strickland fought an unserious John Jones?
John Jones would mock him, bro. Yeah, he would destroy him. That wouldn't even be a question.
I'm the biggest John Jones hater around. John Jones would kill him. No way Strickland is levels above competition and strikers.
Yeah, but I don't think that could knock Silva. I don't think Strickland's competition should knock what's Silva.
Again, I could just go back to that Izzy fight. Like, Izzy did win against Silva. I wouldn't say it was like complete dominance. I do think Silva did hold his own, and that was against a young, hungry Izzy before he got the belt versus an aging, fading Anderson Silva. So prime for prime, I think Anderson Silva just has the upper hand, especially when we're talking about Sean Strickland, where it's a much different style. But I think when you're looking at a guy that was forward pressure and was just walking people down like Strickland does, Silva fights really well off the back foot. He has excellent counters. I think he would make the requisite adjustments needed over 3 or 5 rounds, however long it would go. And he'd get it done. I think he would definitely get it done. But yeah, man, this was a banger card. Get your last questions in now, y'all, before we peace out. But we'll go over some of the content that we're going to drop this week. Obviously, if you guys are new here, we've had some new people in the chat, which we appreciate, y'all. Subscribe to the channel, show it some love, turn on those post notifications. Go follow our socials down below as well. Show some love there. So content for this week, we're going to be doing a GOAT draft. We're going to be doing a pound for pound draft with me, Chris, and Sam. We are each going to try and assemble the best possible team that we can of UFC fighters. And it's going to be snake style. There's going to be no cheating. We're going to do a coin flip before. It's going to be so much fun. We can't wait for you guys to see that video. How would you even counter the Philly shell? Would you throw elbows like Cortes did against JDM's high guard? I think Drickus had the answer. I think you literally just
have to walk through it.
Yeah, you have to eat it.
Like there's no actual technical answer to beating the Philly shell other than just walking through it. Leg kicks too. I think implementing a lot of leg kicks. Strickland is not. I mean, he checks, but he doesn't. If you immobilize if you immobilize Strickland as best as you could, I think that's
Yeah.
a pretty solid answer.
And the thing with the elbows too is when Prates was hitting JDM with those elbows, those were thunderous elbows. You need to have like crazy 8-limbed power to be able to get through the Philly shell. So I don't know if you want to go with that elbow argument. I think you really need thunderous elbows to do it. Otherwise, the jab will just make its way through, you know. But yeah, Chris, you're completely right. Drickus is just going to eat it. But yeah, GOAT draft is going to come very, very soon. We're going to get you guys predictions for Arnold Allen and Melquizael Costa. I'm currently sifting through those fights right now. Main and co-main are bangers, by the way. Arnold Allen and Melky is going to be an awesome fight. Definitely excited for that. Co-main event, Duho Choi and Daniel Santos. Are you kidding me? That's going to be a banger.
Superboy, Korean Superboy versus Willie Cat. 2 fire nicknames, too.
I don't know if there's any other fights on that card. Oh, Malcolm Wellmaker and Juan Diaz.
So excited for that.
Juan Diaz, number 2 on my Contender Series power rankings. I'm very, 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 very excited for that fight. This is a huge test for Juan Diaz, though. So it's a bit of a step up. I was thinking how much elbows are legal to do, just normal Muay Thai elbows. As many as you want.
Yeah.
As you want. I mean, 12-6 is now legal.
12-6 is now legal. So that was a big John Jones 1 loss to a 12-6 elbow.
Get cooked.
Yeah, get cooked. Yeah, but sick card, man. Sick card. I'm sad I wasn't there.
This was fire.
Yeah, it really was. Amazing fight and history in the main event.
Yeah, history in the main event, history in the co-main as well. Top to bottom, you know, as we recap this entire card, just an absolute banger. A lot of fun. Recap streams are going to be a regular thing. We're trying to move these to mornings so y'all don't have to be here late at night. But if y'all rock with the late night streams,
yeah, let us know.
Maybe we'll
if you like watching this before you go to bed. Anything seems like
it depends. If you watch it in bed or you watch it at lunch, I think those are just the prime times. You know.
Yep. Exactly. So yeah, let us know in the comments. We're trying to play around with times.
Yeah, but Alan Costa, GOAT draft on the way this week. We're building out a content schedule. We're back on track here. We want to thank you guys for. Oh, I like the night streams. Hey, okay,
yes,
okay,
sir. Thank
you.
John.
We're gonna take it into account. We're gonna take it into account because I get off of work at like 12 o'clock Eastern, so I come back here and I just get ready to go, and we're going on the stream. So. Yeah,
and I usually fall asleep and Shrikar calls me and wakes me up. So yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, I knew I woke Chris out of just an eternal slumber because
dude, I had so much food for dinner for Mother's Day dinner.
Yeah, that food coma was in because I called him. I hit him with 2 texts. I hit him with 2 texts and a call. If that doesn't go through, I just wait. And see.
Yeah, he waited the 15, 20 minutes. I call him back. Yo.
Yeah, because if that doesn't work, he's either knocked or his phone died. It's one of those 2 options. Otherwise, he calls back. But yeah, just if y'all rock with the night streams, we'll keep it going. We're night owls anyway. We stay up late.
Yep. Our work schedule is crazy. So
yeah, but thank you guys so much for tuning in. One more time, like up the stream if you haven't. Subscribe if you're new. Turn on those post notifications. Follow the socials down below. We are so excited to continue forward on this journey with the pod. This was our biggest stream yet, and we're so glad we were able to share this experience with y'all. We just love talking MMA. That's what we do. Hey, Tyler Betsy, you popped in at the last minute, my boy.
Yeah, what's up, bro? Sorry, we're about to hop off, but you can go rewatch if you want.
Yeah, brother. Hey,
beauty of streams, you could just watch it like a normal video.
Hey, Tyler, catch us on the next stream. We'll probably come Sunday morning. Sunday night is going to happen on Sunday. We're going to be recapping Arnold Allen, Melquizael Costa, which is going to be a very fun one. So we'll be on there. But hey, y'all, we're going to peace out here. Oh, damn, I'm going to rewatch and catch y'all next. Yeah, man. Hey, Tyler, you have a good one, brother. I'm sorry you couldn't catch the stream, but we about to peace out. Hey, see you guys next time. Thank you for tapping into the War Room. We'll catch y'all. Peace.